Welcome, foolish mortals, to Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain. I am your host, Count Simon Gauntly, and each episode I'll be leading you on a journey through the history of film. Specifically, we'll be exploring that eldritch abyss known as the public domain. These are films forgotten by time or abandoned by their creators. The strange, the horrifying, the poorly and cheaply produced. All of these are the purviews of the public domain. So what are we waiting for? Come, join me in my crypt. It's bigger on the inside. Come, join me.
There lived a man so long ago, Count Gauntly was his name. His horror host abilities had brought him wide acclaim. The people flocked from miles around each Gauntly movie night, not knowing that the films he showed infringed on copyright. Upon discovering this fact and learning it was true, an angry mob of lawyers formed with pitchforks, torches too. They tracked the Count and sought to stop his movie hosting ways, and torches blazing put an end to Gauntly's earthly days. But our man was too resilient to let death be the last word. He stirred, sat up upon his slab and vowed he must be heard. So he stocked his tomb with gadgets from the local studio, intent on showing movies on an awesome TV show. But he had to find a legal way, so Gauntly racked his brain. 'Twas then he learned of something called the public domain. Now here he is, the time has come, his dreams are coming true. Count Gauntly's here to share a film in hopes that you won't sue.
Hello, and welcome to Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain. You might notice I've put on a bit of weight. I'm a little bit more Count Portly right now at the moment, but I suppose I'm not the only one in that boat. Lots of people around the holiday season, we imbibe and we share repast to excess. And all these extra calories, well, they cause us to lean towards the portly. But now it's a new month. What month is it, Ograt?
New year, new month.
Yes, new year, new month. It's the time when we make resolutions to better ourselves. And what are some examples? Can you think of anything, Monster, down there? Oh, well, no suggestions are forthcoming from the Monster. What do you think of, Ograt?
Ograt will be cutting back on rust. Ograt have too much rust this year. Ograt feel very rusty. Oh.
Yes, sometimes it is possible to go a little too far with the rust. Even if it's on dead body. It's hard to believe, but true. And so, what would be a good place to start with? I'm inclined to think that a good place to start would be with the problem that faces us right at this very moment. At least is facing me. And it's a common one, it comes up a lot when people make resolutions out in the world above ground. And that's losing weight. So I happen to know a very useful way of losing weight that you might not have thought of before, you folks at home. And so if Ograt and the Monster here will assist me, I believe we've got some hacksaws down there on the ground. Now, you at home, pay close attention. Let's do this, guys.
All right. If Gauntly say so.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Just lay into it. Here we go. Mind the chair. Oh, I feel lighter already. Yes. Oh, excellent. Oh, lovely. light as a feather. I feel the calories melting away. Hoist! Hoist! Okay, heave ho! Yeah! Give a good tug! Yes! Oh! I'm a regular Kate Moss. Heave ho! Oh!
That was hard work.
I feel great. I don't know about you guys. I feel so much lighter.
Where you come from?
Hello.
Oh, a zombie critic.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Came to bid you a happy new year.
And
Did you really?
scary homeless man.
My brother came here once and he told me about you. You're looking a lot better than he was telling me, though. You look
Yeah,
really-
did you see?
you look ripped.
I mean, it's
so
this
good.
new year. We're getting in the mood, the physically fit mood. So I just thought I'd show off my my tips for staying slim and trim to the people watching.
You know, dismemberment is a bit trendy, but I've heard that it's a bit hard for the citizens of the world above ground to actually use that as a weight loss technique.
It's true. Real people need bones.
Beneath the bones. Okay, yeah, I suppose it's useful for perambulation and things of that sort.
And for harvesting rust.
Exactly, harvesting anything really. I mean, you got those arms to reach and grab. I admit they do have merit of a kind.
The blood for bathing.
Indeed. So, what would you suggest then, Ograt?
I'd say we use old great uncle Spinaccio's technique. What we do is we cut off the skin and the flesh, but we leave the bones.
Now that sounds like a plan.
A good old flaying.
I believe that is what Thelonious used, as we can see by our friend over here, looking very good this year.
Oh, sure enough. He's always been a trailblazer when it comes to physical fitness. In fact, he was going to be our coach this episode, but you got a little too into it.
He's looking a little too trim, I think.
Guys. Your crypt is showing. You're going about it all wrong. What you need to do is get out there, see the world, explore. You might find something new, and what that is good, healthy food. Kale. Nature's natural goodness. Good old green, fresh kale. It's not even meat. I know, it's crazy. It actually helps meat, unlike his, he doesn't have any. It actually helps meat grow. It helps you lose that weight that you very brutally removed from yourself. And it helps you become a happier, better person. So, try kale.
Would you say it's a superfood?
It is a superfood. It has anti-cancer properties, and it's high in vitamin K and vitamin C. Freak Slice eats it every day.
Well, definitely sounds innovative and like
Nature's the best innovator.
a culinary adventure, which is what we're all about here. And so maybe we have to try it. What do you guys say? Here, ladle some of that my way, my brother.
Here, have a leaf.
Oh God!
Just choke it down. Look, I didn't have time to prepare it properly. It's not that bad.
This tastes nothing like beaver.
It's not brains either.
Oh,
It smells awful.
You guys have a lot to learn. Do you have any learning materials that might enlighten these gentlemen
okay, yeah.
and yourself?
Yeah. At least it'll provide some distraction. Here's our first film with some tips on channeling good old Freak Slice here and eating healthy. It's called, fittingly enough, Eat for Health.
Hello, Mom. This is Ralph. Judy and Frank want me to stay for dinner. Is it all right with you? Oh, gee, thanks. Bye.
There's something we all enjoy about staying for dinner. Have you ever thought why? It's because eating with others is fun. People like to come together at meal times, enjoy each other's company while they're enjoying good food. Mealtime is fun for Frank. And it's fun for Judy, too. But it's different with Ralph.
Will you have some peas, Ralph?
Gosh, Mrs. Scott, I don't like peas.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, how about a baked potato, then?
Well, okay. Gee, Ralph, why aren't you eating? Remember that picture we saw? What picture? The picture with the hand and the 5 groups of food. Oh, that was just schoolwork.
No, Ralph isn't enjoying his dinner much. Maybe it's because of that candy bar he had just before dinner. Whatever it is, Ralph's good time with Frank and Judy is spoiled. The next day is Saturday, and Ralph's tired. But Frank and Judy feel differently.
We're going skating today. Can Ralph come with us?
Well, I don't know. I think he's still in his room. Just a moment. Let me see. Ralph, Frank and Judy are here and want you to go skating with them.
Hi, Frank. Hi, Judy. Hi. Can you go skating with us outside? It's just right. I don't feel like going skating. Thanks anyway. Oh, well. Okay.
That's too bad. Maybe he can go tomorrow. Bye, kids.
Bye.
That's how it's been for quite some time. Ralph just hasn't had the pep that he should have. And now, Ralph begins to wonder why. Maybe there was something more in last week's classwork than he had thought. That hand, for instance, that his teacher had drawn. 5 fingers that point the way to health. What was it now? Bread and butter or margarine, milk and cheese, meat and eggs, vegetables, and fruits. Those are the foods you should eat every day if you want to be healthy. The first one, bread and butter or margarine, reminds him of Kenneth. Why? Because those are foods, and Kenneth has the most energy in class. Whole grain breads like whole wheat and rye are especially good for you. If you do eat white bread, make sure it's enriched. Enriched bread has vitamins added to it. Cereals give the same kind of energy and health values that bread does, especially whole wheat cereals and oatmeal. Butter and margarine contain fats. They give you energy in a different way from breads and cereals. Butter and fortified margarine have vitamin A in them, which is necessary to good health. The second finger that points to health represents milk and cheese, and somehow they remind Ralph of the tallest children in class. That's because milk and cheese help the body grow. Milk is about the most perfect food there is. A glassful at every meal is good for you, and with one more, that makes a quart a day. Vitamin D milk helps build strong bones and teeth. And Ralph has decided that it must be lots of milk which has given Linda such a bright smile. Cheese is a bodybuilder too, and there are many kinds to choose from. The third finger represents meat and eggs. And Ralph thinks of George right away, because he's the huskiest and the strongest boy in class. Meat and eggs help the body grow and make it strong. Meat is good for you, and there are many kinds. There's beef, there's pork and ham, there's lamb, fish is good, and so is chicken and other poultry. An egg a day is good for you too. Boiled, fried, scrambled, poached, or any way. Meats and eggs are high in protein, which helps build red blood and strong muscles. The fourth finger, pointing the way to health, represents vegetables. And here Ralph thinks of several children in his class, for there are many kinds of vegetables. Potatoes, for instance, are an energy food, And baked potatoes, eaten with their skins and butter or margarine, have lots of vitamins and minerals too. When it comes to green and yellow vegetables, Ralph thinks of Wendy, the prettiest girl in the class. And there are so many different kinds. Green vegetables like string beans, asparagus, and broccoli. There are salad vegetables like lettuce, and many others like celery, radishes, and carrots. Carrots are good cooked too, and so is squash and other yellow vegetables like rutabaga. Cauliflower and cabbage are good too. Yes, there are hundreds of wonderful vegetables. The important thing is that all kinds of vegetables are good for you, whether they're raw or cooked. They're important for good health, for lots of energy and pep, for clear skin and bright eyes, for shining, gleaming hair, and above all, for that wonderful sense of feeling good. The last finger represents fruit, and there are two kinds. Some are especially rich in vitamin C and help ward off some of the diseases that keep you in bed. They help cuts and bruises heal faster too. Foods with lots of vitamin C in them include orange juice, grapefruit, strawberries, melons, and of course, whole oranges. Certain vegetables like tomatoes and raw cabbage are also rich in vitamin C. You should have a vitamin C food every day, provided it isn't stored in the body very long. Finally, there are the fruits we eat for dessert. Wonderful fruits like apples, bananas, peaches, pears, plums, grapes, and many others. Nuts make a good dessert too. They're rich in energy, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. And now, as Ralph thinks about it, he realizes that each of the children he admires depend on all the food's health and not on just one food. George is strong, Wendy is pretty, Linda has a bright smile, and Kenneth has lots of pep, not because of any one food that they eat, but because they eat some of all kinds of food. For it takes 5 fingers to point the way to healthful eating habits. And Ralph goes over them in his mind. Every day, eat bread and butter, milk and cheese, meat and eggs, vegetables, fruits, and a vitamin C food. Thinking about all this food has made him hungry. He has a candy bar around as usual. But now Ralph has a better idea of why he shouldn't let candy and sweets substitute for other foods. Sweets don't have the proteins, the vitamins, or the minerals, the bodybuilding qualities of other foods. So for the next few months, Ralph really worked at learning to eat all kinds of foods.
Ralph, would you like some peas?
I don't want. Well, okay.
Well, what happened to you?
He'd sample everything that was served to him. And even if it didn't happen to be a food that he preferred, he'd eat some of it anyway. At night, he'd go over the 5 food groups and see how he had done that day. After a month or 2 of this, Ralph suddenly realized that a slow change had taken place without his noticing it. He found that eating had become fun. What's more, his health was better and he had more pep. He had more fun than he used to, and more friends. And all because he had learned to eat by counting his foods on his fingers.
Yeah, so basically kale is the best thing that you could ever put in your body, and you could pretty much live off of it as your sole source of nutrients for the rest of your lives if you really wanted to. It's got vitamins of various letters. It's got a lot of calcium. I've heard it actually can clean a house of poltergeists if you use it correctly. And you can mush it up and feed it to a baby. So eat, yeah. Do you like it? I mean,
I can't do it. I can't do it anymore, Cal.
It's just your life.
Man, in its own way, it's monstrous, so I have no choice but to at least respect it. And weren't you saying something about seronophants or something?
Yeah, it's sulforaphanicants.
All right.
They kill cancer.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty super.
It does kill things, so I mean, if that's something that you can level with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My brother has offered me different kinds of leaves, but I think these are my favorite at the moment. Highly appreciated. Highly good.
Okay.
Oh, see, we have a fan.
Yeah, so he at least is into it. And actually, I don't believe we've heard your name yet, sir.
Oh, yeah, I never told you.
Okay. Well, let's
My brother Raster, I call him, was here some months ago. May he rest in peace. My name, don't worry about it.
Okay.
My name is Vector Graphics. And, you know, I just decided to come and see what he was talking about. He said it was a pretty cool time. So here I am.
All right.
Welcome, Vector.
Well,
Nice to
today
meet you,
we're
buddy.
talking about New Year's resolutions. This is the time of the year to make them. You know, set out on a quest to better yourself. We're covering some popular ones. We talked about losing weight. You got any fitness tips?
Fitness tips, I suggest first say no to candy, say no to drugs, say no to TV, and go out and run in straight lines. Run a lot of straight lines.
Straight
point
lines.
to point.
Okay, never like a zigzag.
Does ambling with a horde count?
If you're running, it counts.
He might have trouble.
Oh,
but,
by the way,
you know,
man, on the topic of getting into shape, I really dig what you're doing with your complexion. You really fixed it up a bit.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're looking good, buddy.
I'm easing into this zombie thing.
Okay. All right.
well.
So running in straight lines, but no zigzags.
Only if those zigzags have straight lines in them.
Okay.
That's okay.
Straight lines make zigzags when you think about it.
Okay.
right.
Well,
Huh.
getting into the swim of things by exercising. That sounds like a good plan, actually. The next leg of our journey, I'd say, in realizing some resolutions, bettering ourselves, embracing the new year ahead. And so I think we need some exercise tips. So we're going to watch a film called Exercise and Health. And when we come back, we'll have a killer workout routine that you can join in on at home.
The teamwork we're watching represents one of many ways to build balance and poise, along with skill, strength, and general physical fitness. And there are other things to be gained from this sort of activity. And to find out what they are, let's meet some of the members of this group. This is Ernie Allen. Note the well-developed body, no surplus of soft fat. Here's Hal Thompson. Notice his alertness, his bright interest. And meet Jean Taylor. She's a living example of poise and confidence. Anyone in the acrobatics club could tell us a story of how much he has gained from it. But we'll concentrate on these three: Ernie, and Jean, and Hal. First, Ernie. A year or so ago, Ernie was in a rundown condition. He always seemed to have a cold or sore throat. Any sickness that was going the rounds was bound to get Ernie. And sometimes there were more serious illnesses. Finally, as Ernie was recovering from this one, the doctor suggested a 3-point program for health: sleep, regular rest, right eating, a sound, balanced diet, and exercise when Ernie felt stronger. Ernie's instructor gave him the cues. Don't overtire. And while Ernie built himself up for the time when he could actually play basketball, he was learning the skills of the game. As time passed and Ernie grew stronger, he increased his daily quota of activity. And it's important that it be regular. And Ernie tried some exercises to supplement his sports program. Here's one to build up those abdominal muscles. It wasn't long before Ernie began to feel the benefits of his regular exercise. A little exercise every day. Here's a trunk stretching exercise to strengthen the nut muscles. See how the hips act as a pivot. Ernie still has a cold now and then, but now that he's stronger, he can shake off illnesses more readily. Ernie found that he could build good health and enjoy it. And certainly everyone here has sound health. Exercise builds good health. What about Jean Taylor? What's her story? We've remarked on Jean's poise and self-confidence, but not so long ago, Jean felt lethargic and awkward. And feeling awkward, well, let's see what happens. Yes, Jean was pretty shy. Jean wondered if she could do something to make friends easier. A couple of days later, she was still wondering. And then she saw one way other people make friends. That's right, engage in sports. But no, Jean wouldn't dare. She'd be so clumsy and awkward. But the point is, of course, that you have to learn how to play. Jean thought she might try it. Maybe once she learned the skills of the game, she would gain poise and self-confidence. So Jean finally took the big first step and got started with some physical activity. Besides badminton, Jean used simple exercises to build control of her muscles for better posture. Here's a good exercise to develop poise and balance. It's called a tour jeté. Over a period of days, try to increase the number of times you can do this before getting tired. Jean's exercises improved her badminton and her poise. She had started out wanting to meet a few people, to make friends. So when Hal invited her to join the acrobatics club, don't think Jean wasn't pleased. Yes, Jean made social contacts and friends. That's another way exercise has helped. Jean's a happier girl, as well as a healthier one. Now, what got Hal started with the acrobatics club? He has plenty of social contacts, and he has enjoyed fairly good health. So what was his need for physical activity? Not long ago, Hal was all work and no play. He took his studies seriously, which is all right, except that he didn't give himself time for anything else. Study, study, study. And then, after school, a job, filing papers. And that work is no more active than studying. So it's not surprising that Hal began to make mistakes. He had a steady diet of thinking, and he had no release for nervous energy. He became tense and irritable. He needed some other activity as an outlet for his emotions. Some activity more strenuous than shutting file drawers and holding books. Hal had to find out for himself that he needed physical activity. Then one day he found this passage. Physical activity can provide excellent release for nervous tensions. Exercise increases the rates of respiration and circulation and serves as a stimulus as well as a release for nervous tension. The pleasing tiredness that follows exercise promotes complete relaxation. Well, to Hal, that meant just one thing. He determined to have a program of exercise. So, after talking it over with his physical education instructor, he learned a few exercises that led him to an interest in tumbling. Try this to stretch the muscle fibers and tendons at the back of your knees. Go easy at first, until you feel the stiffness leaving. Hal usually spends some time chinning to strengthen the muscles of his upper arms, shoulders, and back. By taking time for some exercise every day, Hal finds an outlet for his nervous tension and does even better work at his studies and on the job. What of the others of this group? Why are they here? Probably their reasons are similar to Ernie's and Jean's and Hal's reasons. Perhaps they want exercise to increase their strength and endurance and to improve their balance and flexibility. Perhaps they want to establish outlets for their emotional tensions. Perhaps they want to gain poise and self-confidence and meet new friends. Of course, tumbling is only one of the many ways to obtain exercise. Athletic sports involve team play and team competition, and so are especially good ways of building health and releasing emotional tension. These activities bring large groups of muscles into action and train groups of muscles to work together. And milder, less vigorous sports still have the advantage of outdoor activity. And although not everyone can take part in team athletics, almost anyone can find some source of exercise with little or no equipment. Talk it over with your physical education instructor or your doctor. It's up to you to see that your body gets the activity it needs for better physical and mental health.
That was exhilarating. That was an intense workout routine we just had, wasn't it, guys? Whew.
Agrat getting less rusty.
Yes. Building up those muscles and those bones. We're going to be complete functioning organisms because that's what we've learned is best, in fact. And But, physical fitness doesn't encapsulate every single kind of New Year's resolution. There are other common ones, other kinds. What other stuff comes up? You might take a trip. What are some that come to mind for you, Ograt?
Ograt need to meet more women. So if you're looking for a bachelor today, call Ograt. He's here.
I seem to remember you got married last... Okay. Fair enough. Oh. Yeah. All right. There are other kinds, too. You might take a trip. You might seek to advance your career goals or your personal life goals, as we've heard. So what are you other gents thinking of? Critic, what comes to mind?
I'm hoping to cut back on the brains and eat a bit more bread. I've really been hoping to become something of a bread aficionado, break all sorts of types of breads, pumpkin breads, banana breads, orange breads, all the grains that you can dream of. And I really think this is going to be the year of the bread for me.
That's really admirable.
I love that Chinese year.
Yeah. No, good on you, man. Yeah, breaking the brain cycle in favor of the bread cycle.
Kale bread, maybe.
Okay, I'd eat it. I would give that a try.
All right, maybe we got a cooking show in the works.
Ooh.
Okay. Monster, how are you feeling? What are you going to do this year? Oh.
That's a good one.
I feel enraptured by that. All right. Well, Mr. Vector.
Okay, New Year's resolution, I think what I need to do is be around more for my kids. I miss the baseball games. I miss them getting married. I miss their birth.
How many kids do you have?
Don't worry about it. I lose track every day.
Do they bake bread?
2 of them do. Thank you for asking. Nobody asked about my kids. Nobody knows I have kids. Because I don't see them enough.
I mean, see, this is the point of Gauntly here, is that we can bring people together and we can talk about kids and their bread. And with that in mind, where will this next year take you, Freak Slice?
Thelonious, stop making jokes. I'm trying to be serious right now. God. Well, I've been thinking about it, and I decide I need to think less. I think too hard about things sometimes, and it stresses me out. So I'm gonna think less, and I'm gonna shred more.
All right, we'll work in some musical interludes for you for sure.
Oh, cool.
I know you tote that amp around. You got the music in you.
That's a good workout, actually. I get the music and I got the workout with the heavy amp.
Hey, yeah,
it's about 2,000 kilos.
Checks all the boxes.
Yeah,
all right.
It is a box.
Well, honestly, I know I made you all go first. I'm still thinking about where I'm going to go with mine. But what it all boils down to, and what you have to keep in mind when making a good resolution, is you just got to take a critical look at yourself. You got to take a look, as Michael Jackson would say, at the man in the mirror and make a change.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you look at what is flawed inside you, because we're all some variety of humans, living or dead, I would say, or ghouls, pretty close, same physiognomy. And you're looking for those flaws that you can better. Things that are askew in your day-to-day life, habits that you've picked up that are bad. And so, with that in mind, we're going to watch the third film of this gruesome, new-some resolution evening by watching Habit Patterns.
Rabbit patterns?
Not rabbit patterns.
Okay.
Habit patterns.
Habits. Okay.
It's a little late for tears, isn't it, Barbara? Even though you didn't know it was going to happen today, you've still had your whole life to prepare for it. Of course, you've gotten into the habit of not being prepared. And now it's a little late, isn't it? You're a creature of habit, Barbara. We all are. Unfortunately, not all of your habits are good ones. This was how your day started. Started wrong. Your neighbor, Helen, is a creature of habit, too. But she got up when the alarm went off. Because, Barbara, that's what she really had in mind when she said it. Helen has trained herself to know what she's going to do, in what order, and where the things are to do it with. She really doesn't have to think about it. She already knows what clothes she's going to wear today. As it turned out, it was a special day for Helen, too. But she makes a habit of being ready for special days. She starts by having a place for things and keeping them there. She uses taste in selecting her clothes. But more than that, she keeps them clean and mended. And she's able to match the right skirt with the right sweater. This was going to be a special day for you, but you hadn't gotten very far with your preparations for it. Was your whole family asleep? No, your mother was up. Had been for an hour.
Barbara! Barbara, get up. You'll be late for school.
Does she have to do this every morning, Barbara?
Barbara, do you hear me?
If your mother stopped acting like a second alarm clock for even one day, you'd probably think it was a dirty...
Pete's sake, I hear you. I'm up.
You didn't seem at all appreciative. Even if you're not really well-mannered, you could make a habit of being civil. And you weren't really up when your mother called you. Little lies are such a firm foundation for big ones. You started your day with no plan at all. Looking for your hairbrush? Can't remember where you left it? You forgot other important things today. You meant to fix that collar, but you've gotten into the habit of putting things off. There are so many things you plan to do this coming Saturday or the one after that. Let's see. You found the algebra notebook you lost. The ski pants you meant to put away in the chest. The afghan you started to knit last summer. And, oh yes, the sweater you were looking for. You decided to cover the spots on your sweater with a scarf. You often do that. But you can't forget that the spots are there. If you had a habit plan for your mornings, you might get off to a decent start someday. Helen has a habit plan, and it includes a healthy breakfast and a pleasant word with her parents. All three always enjoyed Mr. Elliott's comments on the news. It was time to get started for office and school. Helen's dad would drop her on the way downtown. And who could ask for a nicer way to go to school? Your brother was ready, but your father couldn't wait for you. Or you could have driven to school with him. He used to enjoy that drive, too. Your eggs were cold this morning, but you had no time to be picky about food or to think about your diet. No time for milk or even to say good morning. No time for manners. You made a pretty picture with your rumpled skirt, your spotted sweater, and your hair in a tizzy. As usual, all your neighbors knew how late it was when you went by at your regular dog trot. You were late for school this morning, but then you're almost always late, and you're guilty about it. More so because your lateness is habitual. You're in a rut with a bad habit, and the longer you stick with the habit, the deeper the rut gets. When you saw Helen, you suddenly felt envious. But more than that, you felt a distaste for your sloppy ways. And you knew you could do something about them if only... That wasn't a happy thought, was it? Or do you always drum with your fingers? You were just chatting away with Helen when it happened, when the day suddenly turned into something special. You've never been friends with Ann Tolliver, and you've always wanted to be.
Hi. Hi. Some of the crowd's coming over to my house right after school. Do you think you two could make it?
Well, that'd be fun, Ann. I'd love to.
Swell. Well, what do you say, Bobby?
Sure, thanks.
Okay, see you later.
Bye. That'll be fun, won't it?
Oh, yes.
Bye.
Each school year sees new groups forming, old ones reforming. Yours is a changing social world, and the opportunities to be part of it must be taken when they arise. You knew this afternoon that you were making a bad impression, and you knew how easy it is not to be invited again, and how quickly you can be left out of the crowd. You were embarrassed by your messy hair and the fingernails you had neglected to clean. You worried about the spots on your sweater, Barbara. But what really showed up were your habits. You didn't find it very pleasant comparing yourself with the others.
What? I said, what do you think?
You weren't listening. You seldom do. It's a habit of yours.
I guess I don't know much about it.
They were talking about a popular book. All your friends were interested, but you never got into the habit of reading books.
The whole problem was that Claudia wanted to be free to do all the things she'd never been allowed to do.
Well, that was her whole reason for leaving her family. And then she married back to the same kind of life.
Well, that's why I think the book's stupid. Why couldn't she have seen...
No, you added nothing to that conversation.
The trouble with me is getting started. I always have to force myself to do new things.
I'm the same way. I didn't even want to go to my first concert because I thought it would be too long-haired. Oh, but the music is wonderful. I'm going to go to the whole series.
My mother had to drag me to the museum. But they have a wonderful costume exhibit there. I got an idea for a new dress.
Oh, what kind?
You've never taken an interest in music or politics or art.
We always go to the beach. Every year we take a cottage at Esp.
You've only been once.
There's wonderful swimming and lots of boys. It's quiet where we go. And there are tennis courts at the hotels, too, and dances every weekend. It sounds grand. And it's just a short way to the city.
You couldn't help interrupting, could you? And you couldn't help stretching truth like a rubber band. We all like to talk about ourselves. But a soliloquy isn't a conversation. First, you didn't talk at all, and then you did all the talking. Conversation is a two-way street. But for you, it's either one way or a dead end.
Goodbye. I hope you had a very nice time.
Thank you. I did. Bye.
See you tomorrow. Goodbye, Barbara. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
In all society, at all ages, we know that people are going to talk about other people. Unfortunately, our faults are often more discussed than our good points. And sometimes our good points are completely hidden by our faults. But perhaps worst of all is our own disappointment in ourselves and the remarks we imagine our friends are making about us.
Gee, I think dirty fingernails are horrible.
Maybe she felt shy. A spotted sweater isn't shyness. And bad manners are still bad manners no matter what you call them.
Now, in your own room, the memory of this day stands between you and your whole pattern of behavior. Where will you start? Your complexion? That starts with soap and water and goes on to regular meals and the right kind of food. Your hair? It's more than just a shampoo, when you happen to think of it. Your clothes? Not just cleaned when your mother takes them away from you, but a system of cleaning. For all a pattern, a network of habits. Helen checks her clothes for cleaning when she takes them off. That's a habit of hers. This morning, Helen took her skirt from the front of the closet. Tonight, she hangs it in the back. That's a habit, too. One on the plus side. It gives clothes a chance to hang, rests the fabric. Tonight, Helen makes a plan for tomorrow. A what to wear, what to do, when to do it, design for living. Helen has the habit of being ready for special days. Good habits save time and energy and give us greater freedom to do those extra things we want to do. Yes, a good start. But these improvements are not yet habits, not by any means. They must happen again and again until they fit into the fabric of the days without conscious thought. If you try, really try, you can root out the poor, accidental habits and establish in their place the good habits approved by custom, accepted by society. Across the street, Helen's light goes out. Reasonable hours are part of her pattern. And you, Barbara? Well, you've had a hard day. But staying awake to think about it won't help it any. Go to bed early for a change. Give yourself a good start on a new day.
I must say that film made some persuasive arguments. We've taken a critical look at habit patterns and seen how destructive bad ones can be.
Mm-hmm.
So, in looking to make a resolution for myself, what kind of bad habits have we got going on in the realm of the crypt, would you say?
Well, we drink too much, we smoke too much, we swear too much, we don't donate, we don't give blood.
I watch Die Hard every day. And for the past 16 years, I haven't missed a day. And it feels like it's wearing on me.
You are dead.
Now I
And
am,
it's
I
a great
suppose.
movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're cool.
Yeah, those don't strike me as super bad. But, well, what else? I guess we rarely see the sun. However you slice it, we don't go above ground much. We tend to stay down in the crypt, which, like you said, we are dead. It's, in a way, it's where we belong, but we're a bit more lively than most of the dead. And so, maybe it's time we venture forth into the new year and just embrace the possibilities outside. We've got these stunning bodies now.
That's what I'm talking about.
We have to share with the Vox Populi. And we need to see and be seen and just journey on into the year ahead. And
I mean, Gauntly, maybe there's a lesson in this life that we can't learn from watching a bad movie. Do you?
Really?
I mean, it might be. We might just need to go out there and explore for ourselves.
We just might have to.
Yeah.
What do you think, Victor?
GameCube counts, right?
Well, we gotta at least go outside.
We could bring the TV outside if you gotta have it.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. Okay.
Yeah, one step at a time. One
It's
step
like
at a time.
GameCube
Come on,
outside of the
Thelonious.
TV.
Okay.
Poor Thelonious doesn't have any muscles anymore.
In fact, the whole Earth is a vast game sphere.
Yeah.
Just out there awaiting us. So, onward, gentlemen, into the new year. Oh, okay, guys. I think they're gone. That's
You sure?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, God,
Did
that
the
was-
sign off, right? Yeah. No, they're gone. So come on back in. Yeah. Get back in those chairs. Let's watch something else. I mean, 81% of resolutions fail anyway. Let's just.
I love nature, but come on.
Yeah, you guys were joking about half that stuff, right?
You have Die Hard?
Oh yeah, I got it in here somewhere. Got a stack of reels here somewhere. Yeah, I mean this is where it's really at. Yeah. Hogot's got the right idea.
Crack open a soup beer?
Indeed, and lean back and take in the year the same way we always do. And just in case you didn't depart yet, why don't you spend the year with us here at Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain? And as always, pleasant nightmares.